So, I want to talk about some ideas to make transportation to your workplace better, more easier in the future. So there's less traffic overall, so you don't get stressed and anxious about it. So you have more time for yourself. The health benefits is better for you since the stress, anxiety, and being locked up does have negative health benefits and time consume, and it's better for the environment. And all these ideas I have for just basic companies. One is to offer incentives for people to live nearby to their work. Maybe approved to the government and there's a tax incentive, maybe incentive by the company, or so on, to hire just more local people. You can imagine that giving a tax benefit also might stop certain types of gentrification or something like that, by making sure that people that work in the neighborhood also the people that live in the neighborhood. But of course, this is not a perfect solution. Or another one is that we can start opening up more housing laws that your house can also be a business if you own a small business. And rethinking that because is illegal to some extent in many places. And we might rethink that. There's some interesting videos about that I'll try to link down below. Another idea is to make sure the company gives some benefit for you to live nearby. And these benefits can be a wide range of benefits. One example of these benefits could be benefits that you stay in it. For example, they could have a food court, so you're not traveling as much in and out. You could also have, if you have a food court, you can have more people come in, and maybe you can keep the food court open to public. Now, not only could you have a food court, you could have a shopping court, there's other stuff nearby, so people can take work on the breaks, and maybe by some of the company money going to these upkeeping these places, we can actually make the whole thing cheaper because we can use the same facilities and same staff to clean up both places, for example, reducing costs on both ends, or employee discounts. We would have to be careful of monopolies forming or other harmful things. I should also mention this is not only companies, this could also be universities and more. Another idea is to promote more carpooling by companies and stuff like carpooling. It could also, we could have sign-up seats, Google Docs. We could also just maybe an Uber system, make it regular. The problem with carpooling is that the reliance on other people to do stuff back and forth. And what if one person's late and the stress with that? And extra communication infrastructure. One way you could maybe lower that impact is if you have a meetup place, everyone meets up, and who is by there by a certain time, they all drive together. If not everyone, if someone misses out of time, well, they have to drive on their own, or something like that. Maybe that would work, maybe that wouldn't work. I think it would work in some scenarios it probably wouldn't by a case-by-case basis. Which, by the way, is most of these things are a case-by-case basis and will not work perfectly in all situations. Another one is to have the midday off, so people can take the time to shop and stuff like that during midday and bring back food to the workplace. Because oftentimes people, when they're working for very long hours, they in fact become less productive, first of all. So having a break is good. By people having different midday breaks, you might stop grocery rushes later on with traffic jams and stuff like that. So people will take those breaks at more staggered times than everyone ending work at the same time. These midday breaks also might be able for them to get more stuff out of the way. Now, offering a flexible schedule might be the best, where some people have midday breaks, some people don't, depending on their lifestyle. And that could stack up people even more, because maybe the people who work midday breaks, they actually work longer hours as they have a break in between, so it ends up being the same amount of breaks, or other flexible scheduling to lower the amount of traffic in between. Again, not a perfect solution, and it will be a company by company thing. Another idea is to hire some people as runners and stuff like that, so people stay in the workplace, but it's people that do errands for them while they're at work, and that could be bringing food for the company. That could be bringing other items. But it could even be a more complex thing, shopping for them. To even more complex things like taking care of the house, and stuff. And if you have under a company, maybe you can give them actually a decent wage. Unlike most people that do these jobs now do not have decent wage, and they just do a bunch of odd end jobs. You would really have to worry about the wages of these people though, because they're probably doing hard work and they should deserve a good wage for that. But it would take off a lot of stress for certain groups of people, if done well, and it could hire more employment for people that don't want to have a very specialized job, or still trying to figure out stuff, or do not have as much of an education. Another idea is to have more to stay-at-home workers, so people do not actually have to go into work and do all that stuff. And for some people, and that could be a huge benefit for disabled people and just making the commute more clear, or people that have to take care of children or have other needs or stuff. Another one is to just have more time off, in fact, and that also can help prevent illnesses and diseases spreading, so as being staying at home, because now instead of you spreading an illness or something, you're at home, more isolating, or you can stay at home. And sometimes that means when you do go to office, it's for more productive tasks. You're not always there. So incorporating this with also just more flexible schedules in general could lead to huge benefits all over the place. Another idea is to pay for money for people to get better transportation options to your work and so on, from getting a bike or something so they don't have to walk as much, to electric bike, to electric cars, and sorting out the Hummer and stuff like that, if it's really necessary. And another idea I have is to promote more unspecialized types of work at the workplace. And having these people being able to, now, they can work harder on some days and take more days off. That's one way around some of these problems I'm going to say. Let's say you have a person that does a little bit of the office job, cleans and cooks for everyone. So or someone cooks and also does clientele work, sales pitch. This, in fact, could be, if done right, more rewarding because people are mixing up different things together, so they're not as bored of one task. They also might engage in more different social groups or something and be moved around. They might learn more skills this way. It might be also, it might be that now they work one day more here and harder, so they work 3 days harder and be more productive, so they can take 2 days off more, and 2 days off to recuperate, meaning this could help the time off thing. And this also could easily be extended with the runners ideas I was talking about before, to a very large extent. Or it could be something that extends to them learning more skills to also take care of family, like cooking or something like that. And maybe also by being unspecialized, they have less elitism in them and are more open to hear more voices or hear more voices from different circles, and more appreciative of other groups of people. But this also would mean the company would have to and also might radically rethink its hiring structure, everything in control. But I also see some ones for people that are neurodivergent or different and have an odd set of skills that might not fit in traditional skill roles. Another one is that we force companies to pay for increasing the ease of commuting to work and stuff like that. So companies have to pay a tax if they're going to build a certain amount of stuff to make sure the roads are good and the buses and stuff. There's already some places already do this to some extent. Another final idea is to use drones and stuff to deliver stuff more back and forth so people are exiting work less or have to go to work less. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year for 1,000 watch hours, which is really hard, really help I think you do it. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.